Welcome everybody to Armchair Expert. My name is
My name is Fax Shepherd.
welcome back to the Chill Spot podcast. I'm Sam.
I mean, this is going to be like episode 17 or 18. I kind of feel like, by now.
Welcome back to the Chill Spot podcast, everybody. I'm Brad Pitt.
Could you imagine doing 100 episodes of these podcasts and being like, welcome back to the 100th episode of the Chill Spot podcast. As always, I'm Cam. I feel like after a while.
I kind of love it. I don't know. I don't mind it when people do that.
Nah, I think it's tacky.
If anything, I just don't listen to it. I don't pay attention to it.
Because I think if you do 100 episodes of something, the people who are watching your stuff know who you are.
I don't know. I just don't care. I don't think anybody's paying as much attention to it as you are.
I mean, it's not even just that. I don't know. I think intros as a whole is something that
need to be worked on.
People don't do them anymore. Back in the climate of YouTube, 5 years ago was the rise of maybe more 6-7 years ago actually, is more the rise of the Markipliers and the PewDiePies and the Jacksepticeyes.
They had theme songs and stuff.
All people who are YouTube, it's just that doesn't exist anymore. And then there was a little bit where a lot of people had jingles, like you just said, songs.
Yeah.
And now they just don't do it at all. I don't know. I mean, our intro is a pop noise.
One of my favorite intros for my favorite podcast, The Read. They have an intro song, they have a theme song.
Well, so do we.
And then there's a bit that they do at the beginning of every, and it changes. They'll do it for a while, a couple of months or most of the year, and then they'll just change it. So at the beginning, the hosts Kid Fury and Crystal, Kid Fury would.
Sorry, Kid Fury.
Don't say it like you're mocking it.
His name is Kid Fury?
His stage name, his radio name is Kid Fury.
Okay.
So he would quote a movie, because Crystal is one of those people who hasn't seen a lot of landmark movies.
Sure.
So he would quote a movie, and she would have to try and guess what movie he was quoting. So he would come in with we're gonna need a bigger boat, and she'd have to guess it. But it would be Lord part.
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, that famous part from Lord of the Rings when their boat broke down.
Bruce the Shark from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Bruce the Shark from Finding Nemo.
Yeah, from Fellowship of the Ring. And then now, he'll start singing a song, and Chris will join in, and they'll harmonize for a little bit before they start the show.
That's their little jingle?
Yeah, they do a cute little bit before the show starts, before they go into their first segment.
I'd like to have a jingle for us eventually.
Yeah.
Pay some money to have someone
we're working on it.
Make a song or something.
We're working on it. Have some leads on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Head on over to Fiverr.
Yeah.
Just be hey, who wants to make a jingle for a podcast?
Probably lots of people.
I think, that's one of the things they advertise on Fiverr. It's you got a podcast?
Yeah.
You want more fucking jingle, dude?
Jingle? Well, it's a whole thing. I remember when I was a kid, I used to take guitar lessons, and my guitar teacher, one of his big trades was he would do jingles. He wrote jingles for commercials, which was, I don't know, it makes money.
Well, it's not easy to make a jingle.
It's an original. You're a songwriter to a certain extent. You're a composer. You make music.
Right.
It's just that it's, 30-second sound bits, and it goes in a commercial. You don't put it in an album.
Well, I feel jingles, I think the reason why jingles are so hard to make and hard to make effectively is because they need to be as catchy as a slogan, or as easy to replicate as
you have to make
an
the
interesting
quickest earworm. Completely.
Like ba da ba ba ba
800 588 2300 Empire. They used that. Okay, so you know that musical impressions segment that Jimmy Fallon does on his show sometimes.
Sure,
He's had Ariana Grande do it, and Jamie Foxx did a really good John Legend on it. One of the ones that he had to do, he had to sing, I think Sting, but he had to sing that jingle. That's what came up in the random, quote unquote, randomized
that's funny
cycle.
That's really funny.
The Empire rug commercial jingle.
Well, what I love about that Empire jingle is it sounds like it was written, it's a good jingle and it's memorable, of course.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it was written by someone who has no idea how to write music, because it's okay, we have a melody. Like, what's the lyrics? Like, it's this sentence. And it's like, well, 300, 580, 300, like,
Honestly, it sounds like a Lana Del Rey song. The way that it's like dragged out.
Oh my god.
800, 580, 300. My boyfriend doesn't love me, but I love him so much in the pale moonlight.
I woke up this morning.
That's my Lana Del Rey
Had
impression.
a cigarette in bed. I know nothing about Lana Del Rey. I've never listened to any of her music.
I haven't listened to like a full album, but I've listened to many songs. And
Well, you have opinions on Lana Del Rey.
I do.
Strong opinions.
I do. I don't like her.
I mean, according to you, like, Lana Del Rey, like, she might as well yawn halfway through her music.
Like, do you remember when Lana Del Rey was on SNL and she did that iconic, like, she just, like, spun around? People gift it like crazy.
No, unfortunately, you don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to show you after this is done, but it made the rounds. People memed it.
Mm-hmm.
She was doing SNL and she was in the middle of singing and then, like, it broke for, like, a guitar solo or something like that. And she just, like, does this thing where she kind of, like, closes her eyes like really lazily and then she just like turns around and like it's almost like she does like she almost like ragdolls, like she just kind of like spins around like really slowly and like sensually. I think it was supposed to be like a sexy thing, but it just looked kind of like
just looks like she's flopping around.
It just kind of was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You look like you don't know what to do with your body.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of like how I feel about all Lana Del Rey songs. Like, I feel like she's just doing that
You
twirl.
don't look like you know what you're doing.
She's just like spinning around like, I don't fucking know. I'm just gonna record this part.
She's really popular.
She is really popular. Listen, if this ever blows up, I'm gonna get fucking flamed for my
crucified
Lana Del Rey
for not liking
opinions
Lana Del Rey.
because literally nobody agrees with me. So like, just know that I know that it's an unpopular opinion, but it's just how I feel. I don't like her music, and I don't like her persona, and I don't like what her persona seems to be encouraging people to do, because it just sort of seems to encourage people to not care like
okay. I mean,
about anything, like
just
fucking like date people who like don't treat you well and like don't really give a shit about what happens to you, but be sad all the time nonetheless about what's happening to you, even though you just kind of like obviously are aware of your destructive patterns but do nothing to solve them at all.
Well, here's an interesting question then. So do you believe that her music encourages that behavior, or more like is just about that behavior?
It's like about that behavior, but I still don't like hearing about it.
Right.
It's like don't I don't know, just it sounds like Lana Del Rey knows exactly what she's doing wrong in her life, and instead of like trying to make herself happier, she just like sings about it, and I'm like, okay.
Right. Well, to be fair, like Lana Del Rey makes sad music, which is a whole thing. Like, I don't listen to sad music. I've never been a fan of sad music. There are artists that I know that make sad songs, and I like those songs.
Yeah.
But I'm not I might get crucified for this opinion, but like I'm not even really a big fan of like The Weeknd anymore. Like I used to be like a pretty big Weeknd fan, but then like I don't know, like My Dear Melancholy came out, and I'm like, this is just sad boys music in my opinion. Like it's just real sad. Like and I don't want to fucking listen to this.
It's moody and gloomy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really like moody, gloomy
I really don't
music.
like this like in a club smoky-eyed aesthetic of like I'm so fucked up all the time.
Yeah.
I'm so sad because all I do is do drugs and sing.
Like okay,
I don't
so
know.
a
It's
perfect,
just
a
not
perfect
my
example
bag.
of this, like my bone that I have to pick with Lana Del Rey is like, so she did this song for the Great Gatsby's soundtrack called Young and Beautiful, and the chorus is
Young and beautiful. Is that
will
right?
you still love me when I'm no longer young and beautiful? And it's like, why do you have to ask that of somebody? Like, what? And it's all about like, you know, like falling in love when you're young and beautiful and worrying about, you know, in the future you're never going to be able to have that again. And it's like,
that's a common insecurity though. That's not like,
will you shut the fuck up? I don't know. Like,
I just think you don't like Lana Del Rey. To be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, I
think
know.
if someone else wrote that song, you wouldn't have a big as a problem with it.
No, I would have a problem with it. I just think like, I don't know. Lana Del Rey is like for people who age gracefully, but continue to obsess about their looks despite the fact that they look fantastic.
Sorry,
You okay over there?
There's just no room.
You're doing it.
Why don't you just keep
You're
talking?
really doing it to that microphone.
Yeah. Maybe it talked bad to me. It told me my mother was a whore.
Okay. But yeah, like people who like Lana Del Rey tweet a lot about shit like, I don't know, drinking even though it makes you feel like shit and like doesn't sit well with your system, but you got to do it to forget about.
I love this
the person that you had a crush on for 4 months.
I love
and
this
how they're tearing your heart apart.
Giant generalization you're making about a whole group of people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like whenever a new Lana Del Rey album comes out, people are like, "Oh, Lana's working on new music. I better get ready to like cry and text my ex or something like that." And it's like I'm so tired of even like joking about destructive tendencies. I don't even care if you're just joking, you're not actually doing it. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I don't want to hear about your problems in that capacity.
That's an interesting transition. Would you consider that a part of self-deprecation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, except it's not funny. And it's never been funny to listen to somebody say like, gonna go like text my ex who leaves me on red for 2 hours straight, LOL. Yeah. Even though I promised myself I would never go back to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna text my ex and he's gonna read the message and not get a reply, and I'm gonna cry as hard as I can in the shower.
Because I know I'm a sad ass bitch. Like, oh my god, get your shit together, you hot mess, like, LOL.
Do you need
crying
like
laughing face emoji?
You want like a therapist or something?
Do you want like I don't
You should talk to someone about that.
I'm worried about your friend. Like,
well, it's like in terms of self-deprecating humor. Like, I personally when I was in high school, I was really into self-deprecating humor because the group that I ran with in high school it was a chirping culture.
Yeah,
it's just you make fun of other people because it's a self-defense mechanism.
Yeah,
and if you're with this at the time, this group of people, you know, it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be lots of chirping, lots of making fun of each other, lots of poking fun at insecurities.
Yeah.
And like, you know, fucking full points. Like everyone who I hung out with in high school, I'm sure has grown into, you know, an adult.
Yeah.
Who I doubt still behaves this way.
I'm sure a good number of them have had the same realizations that you've had, where like
this is negative.
It wasn't actually fun the entire time that you were doing it.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
And I'm confident that everyone has had that realization.
Yeah.
But I really don't fuck with self-deprecating humor anymore because now I remember when I was all about self-deprecating humor.
Yeah.
And I remember that I was doing it because I believed it.
Yeah.
Not because I thought it was funny.
Exactly.
So when someone does self-deprecating humor, I'm like, this isn't like I don't want to laugh. I don't want to laugh at you.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Hannah Gadsby's special Nanette really
super good.
It really like made it gave me the vocabulary to talk about it in a way that I've been feeling about it but not been able to express.
That's a great special. If you haven't watched it yet, everybody should watch it.
It's funny, but
not
it's
really.
not for a very long time.
It's not even it's not a stand-up.
It is a stand-up.
In structure,
listen, you know
it's
what
a
it is?
stand-up.
It's like My Girlfriend's Boyfriend, like
TED
Mike
Talk.
Birbiglia's thing, where like it's funny. I would classify it as stand-up comedy, but it's almost like a new brand of stand-up comedy.
It's like a one-woman show.
Because I feel like the zeitgeist in comedy right now, at least my zeitgeist, because let me tell you later about how I feel like I'm wrong about the zeitgeist of comedy right now. Like I feel like at least in the circle of comedians that I pay attention to, there's this feeling of like it's not funny to talk about our to poke fun at our problems anymore. And Hannah Gadsby like really outlines it really well in Nanette,
right?
Where she talks about how like in order to successfully execute self-deprecating humor, you have to take trauma and like shrink it down and take out all the stuff that makes it legitimate and sort of invalidate it in a sense in order to like laugh about it.
Right.
So like if I was in a car crash, I would have to take out all the times I was scared, like before, during, after the car crash.
Any injuries you sustained.
Any like mental trauma, like PTS that I endure because of that car injury. And I just sort of have to like make fun of the fact that like I got in a car crash.
Right.
You know, like I'll make a joke about like how metal sounds like clashing up against metal or something like that. And just completely take out the stuff about like how in reality, after I experienced that very real car crash, I was like scared and thought I was never, maybe I don't know, never be able to walk again or something like that. I was worried about a loved one who was in the car with me.
You gotta take the reality out of it, so
I've got to take
you
that
can
out
put
of
the
it.
humor into it.
Yeah, and what she says is that she's basically not okay with doing that anymore, and I think that's so powerful.
Definitely.
And like such a really important thing to zone in on and like say out loud to a stadium full of people. And I think she did that at like the Sydney Opera House or something like that. But
something like it was a
like
big,
a huge arena.
I know nothing about Hannah Gadsby though.
I'd never heard of her until Nanette. I think she's big in the UK.
That would explain
I think
a lot.
she's a popular UK comedian.
Well, I'm glad she got her piece because Nanette is a great show.
Yeah, I'm glad that we got to see it.
You know,
But yeah, so like that's sort of why things like Lana Del Rey and The Weeknd now, like My Dear Melancholy era Weekend, I'm not about it anymore. Like if you want to talk about the things that make you upset, then talk about them. Don't glamorize them the way that Lana Del Rey is, because Lana Del Rey is like, she's tragic, but she's like beautiful. She's so beautiful, and she can have any man that she wants, but she's got all this like shitty feeling deep inside, but she's beautiful while she does it,
Right.
Like the other day someone on Twitter retweeted this video of like Lana Del Rey like vaping, and somebody like asked her what a furry was, and she was like, oh, you guys are disgusting, and they were like, oh, Lana Del Rey is so beautiful, she can like make me cry anytime. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, can you just let trauma be trauma and let like the funny things in your life be funny things?
Right.
That's why I love John Mulaney so much, is because he actually talks about like funny, quirky coincidences in life. And
Right.
in life there are humorous, funny, quirky coincidences, and then there are just like sad, traumatic things, and we should just let the traumatic be traumatic and let the laughter be the laughter. And of course, like sometimes they intersect, but
a lot of people process trauma through humor.
Yeah, but I think
Which
there's a
can be
respectful
healthy.
way to do that. But self-deprecating is not that ain't it, chief.
Because I'm not, you know what it is, Sam? Like, I may not be perfect, but I'm not sad anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make myself sad.
Exactly.
So, but how do you feel about something like Adele, who like makes sad music? Like,
Does she though?
yes.
So, okay. So my thing with Adele is that Adele is like she's pretty good at being an adult. She would laugh and like not say that to me, but from my perspective, for somebody who doesn't know Adele, who I only have her public persona to go off of, and I've listened to all of her music. I actually really love Adele. I discovered Adele before she was like Adele.
Wow. Good for you.
Like her song Chasing Pavements got me through like my first like shitty heartbreak in grade 9.
When you were like, hey, and so you didn't respond, so you went home and listened to Adele and cried as hard as you can at home.
Imagine that, but like I did it for like most of grade 9.
You know, before you continue your story, Sam, something I
Yeah.
really love about your narratives around surrounding you as a kid and like your like super loved filled heart, like all you wanted to do was love, like so bad.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing you wanted more
I
than
wanted to be in love really bad.
anything else. I love these narratives you spin of like you being so emotionally destroyed by something that happens, and most of the time the other dude like doesn't even know,
Completely unaware. Completely oblivious.
It's like you think after like the 6th or 7th time, you maybe like, you know what, I'm gonna try something else.
But it's so weird because there were moments in there, like my big grade 9 crush, like we made out. He
Good for
asked me
you.
to be his date to a dance, and we made out.
Nice.
Like that's
Sam?
I'm not. Don't high five me. Put it down. Put it down.
High five myself, by
Like
the way.
these things would happen that would they're obvious signs that a person likes you.
Of course.
And then we just never dated.
Yeah.
And it's like,
That happens though.
what is going on? How do I keep finding myself here? How do I keep finding? I would go insane. I would be like, how, like, you kissed me, you told me you liked me, but you never met my friends or family. We never really went out on a date.
In
We
grade
kind of
9.
just like, I'm now like Mod Podging experiences together from my
Sure.
various situationships over the years.
I get that.
Just things that didn't happen but also happened, you know, like you told me that you really liked me, or you told me that you had a crush on me. We hung out a lot. We were like obsessed with each other and knew each other really well. You told me
Right.
that you thought I was the most amazing girl that you had ever met in your life. We made out, you know, shit like that. We shared a really intimate deep talk moment where we exposed our deepest, darkest secrets to each other. And yet
Here we are, not dating.
What the fuck? Like, how do I keep finding myself here? Which is why I kind of have to give myself a break and be like, no, like, validate yourself and say, like, no, this person gave me all of the go-aheads, all of the symbols and signs that they liked me, wanted to date me, and yet nothing happened. How the fuck does that happen? You know? Like, what?
I had the opposite problem when I was younger, where I would like people, and my I'm not going to call it a strategy because it really wasn't one. My sort of method, I guess, excuse me, was like, if I like this girl because I think they're pretty, I'm going to get to know them. Like, be friends with them. But the issue with that is now you're friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, not everybody wants to screw that up by, like, dating.
Yeah.
And it is toxic of me as a young man to try to be friends with someone with the intention of dating them.
Yeah.
Which at the time I couldn't, separate because I just wasn't far enough along yet.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, if you look at our relationship as an example, like, we were friends for like 2 years before we really started like dating.
But you weren't friends with me under the guise of, I want to turn this into a relationship.
No,
we were friends because we were friends.
You're the only person in the theater department who knew what Kendrick Lamar was. So I was like, do you want to be best friends?
I was the only person in the department who understood that the 6 was a nickname for Toronto.
Oh dear.
Do you want to talk about that story?
No.
How fucking? I mean, it's very short. We were in a class together, like spring of our like 3rd or 4th year or something, like 3rd year going into 4th year, I think, where there was this play that our school puts on during orientation week.
It's a PSA.
It's a giant PSA. It's a very creative PSA that teaches you about like certain like health services that are available to students on campus, and it's very popular, but it was
at the time
wildly incorrect.
Super problematic.
And the way that it tried to handle tough topics like race and like AIDS were just done completely wrong because there was absolutely no dramaturgy, there was no research behind any of it, and because it was a play and there was a theater and performance department, people started thinking that it was associated with us and what we did when it wasn't.
We were like, no,
it wasn't. It was the health organization on campus that wrote this play.
Yeah,
a bunch of people with no performing arts backgrounds wrote this play and put it on and cast it and produced it. So because the two were so closely associated all the time, we got involved. And first semester, there was a class that you could take where we basically rewrote the entire play. Yeah. Us and like 14 of our peers and one of our professors named Toby Malone.
Shout out to Toby.
Love Toby.
If I could put it into perspective before you continue.
Yeah.
This show, before we fixed it, was essentially a series of skits.
Yes.
There was no connectivity, really.
Yeah.
There was
I mean, like, every character, they were friends with each other.
Yeah.
Like,
it was about a
friends.
Group of friends in first year in a dorm.
Yeah.
There was one connecting narrative in that one of the character rapes another character, attempts to rape another character. Like, that's the big, like...
they succeed in raping, and in the original
one,
we had to fix, there was a rape.
That's like the pin drop moment. You're like, isn't university fun? Well, this might happen.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, anyway. Yeah. So, but then the other problem, and this is like, aside from all the other problematic shit, in my opinion was the most problematic, was at UW, which is University of Waterloo in Ontario, has a high Asian population.
Yeah.
So when they wrote this play, something they thought that would be hilarious in the 80s was to have a super stereotypical character represent this community.
Think like Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles.
I'm talking
if you've
like
seen 16 Candles.
Wearing a rice hat.
Yeah.
Like
racist.
Like, so racist.
Racist.
Like, but they didn't take this character out until like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it would really...
To put this into perspective, I dated a guy who played that character.
Yeah. What's fucked up is that, I'm not going to say the name of the show because you don't have to.
Yeah.
But the idea of this PSA was that they can sell it to other schools and like they could put it on because it's relevant pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Did you know what they told the other schools?
No.
Literally, they would sell these shows and be like, here, put it on. Oh, but instead of
an Asian character.
He had like a really racist name too.
Holy. Yeah.
Jesus, I forgot his name was Holy. So anyway,
Yeah.
he'd be like, oh, but instead of Holy, just be like, just pick an
Indian name.
ethnicity that's large at your school.
Yeah.
If it's Indian, pick an Indian character. If it's black, pick a black character.
Yeah.
It's like, how fucked up is that?
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
It was fucked up. So
without a shred of irony, they would say this.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Fuck.
Right? It really makes it. It really recoils.
So we had to fix it.
It needed to be fixed.
So a diverse and like interested and invested group of students and like an invested professor who had a PhD in dramaturgy.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to give like a quick sentence on what dramaturgy is?
Dramaturgy, I say this with love, dramaturgy is being a paid know-it-all.
Sure.
So they're really popular in when a theater company or is doing like a period piece, for example, a dramaturg or a dramaturgy team will do research on everything that had to do with that period, wardrobe, social norms, and stratas, like food, etiquette.
Make sure everything is accurate.
History, major historical events for that time period.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of there to sit in the background and make sure that everything is accurate and up to date.
Mm-hmm. Like if you use a teacup that looks like it's from the 1700s, but the show is in the 1800s, well, you got to. That's
a dramaturg would know that and suggest, hey,
we should use a different teacup.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like nitpicking, but it actually makes such a difference.
It's such a big difference.
Once you spend time like doing dramaturgy, you really can tell when a show has not been dramaturged.
100%.
And dramaturgy is a very thankless job. Dramaturgs don't get thanks in programs and like thank you notes and stuff like that. The director often actually gets props for that, which is really really funny thing to me. But
they do work closely, like a lot of the
they work closely, but a dramaturg is a title and it should be written so in credits, so it's a thankless job. It's a very low paying job, and it's not always considered necessary, which I think is bullshit. But it's not often considered necessary and in a lot of modern day.
I think any show would benefit from a dramaturg, to be perfectly honest with you.
Absolutely, 100%, but it just isn't.
So anyway, that's dramaturgy.
That's dramaturgy. So we work on this show, and right, I was going to my Toronto 6 reference. I also forgot that we started there. That was a wide path, but we were rewriting this show, and we're meeting up again. I think the class only met like a couple times a week, and
it was a single credit course.
We would meet up and we would discuss what we were going to do. Certain people would get assigned certain sections of the script. We would go away, rewrite them, come back, talk about them, and so on and so forth. So we were meeting up for a discussion, and the professor who was a 40-something dad with salt and pepper hair and 2 kids and a wife, like Australian, by all intents and purposes should be out of date, but he was a cool dude, so he was like with it.
Yeah.
Shows us what he rewrote, and somebody made a note. One of the students who was our age was like, he had written like, a character says something like, oh, like it was good to go back to the 6 for a while, but it's nice to be back on campus. And somebody wrote, what is the 6? And like you and I paused and like looked up, and Toby was like, do you not know what the 6 is? And the person who's like made the comment was like, no, I don't know what that is. And a bunch of other people in the class like kind of muttered. They were like, I don't know, I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. And we were like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's the city.
You are in your early 20s and you don't know what the 6 is? You don't know?
It's the local national city.
So the 40-something Australian from like with 2 kids had to be like, the 6 is a nickname for Toronto.
Yep.
Like,
you ever heard of Drake? you know Drake, Aubrey Drake?
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So crazy that people don't know what that is.
Well, especially because, like, yeah, Drake may have coined the six, but, like, it is pretty ubiquitous
it's
now.
written on stuff. Like,
there's so much merch.
Yeah, it's like people who are from Toronto work that into their like online usernames, like Twitter usernames, Facebook nicknames, like Instagram usernames and stuff like that.
If
like,
you listen to rap, you're gonna hear about the six.
if you listen to top 40 radio,
yeah,
you I'm sure Nicki Minaj. I'm certain there's she references it in one of her like really popular features from like and it's in like a top 40 song.
well, that's one of the coolest things I actually love about a lot of about. You know, I gotta hand to Drake and I gotta hand to these other Canadian rappers and other musicians out here like repping the six and whatnot. Is like you hear about a lot of other American rappers being like, yeah, I'm in the six.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
repping Toronto. They're not even from here.
To be like traveled around the world, went to Miami, Los Angeles, New York City, the six.
Yeah.
Like Barcelona. I don't know. Like
That actually reminds me of one time. It was either 2 Chainz or Snoop Dogg went to Toronto. It might have been Snoop Dogg, and it was in the middle of winter. Yeah. And he was like, never been to Toronto before. This place is cool as fuck. Man, it's cold, bro. Like, oh my God, it's cold
it
up
so
here.
goddamn cold.
But he lives in Los Angeles. Fucking.
For what it's worth, like New York City, which is in the same sort of like weather area as Toronto, like geographically speaking, like we tend to experience the same weather.
Yeah, they're close by enough, I think.
New York City, I've heard it sucks in the wintertime.
Of course it does.
Yeah. Like when I went to New York with my friend Alyssa back in October, we specifically chose October because it wouldn't be like stifling hot.
Yeah.
But she had been in New York in like December, like close like after Christmas, and like she said it was miserable. Like we didn't do a lot of walking around. We did a lot of like going from building to building, not spending time outside.
Well, of course, because why would you, right?
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago they got like blizzards in New York, like crazy snowstorms.
Yeah, it sucks.
You know, and it's hard enough to get around New York when it's nice out.
Yeah.
Let alone when it's fucking snowing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's really miserable. But yeah, that class.
It was a good class.
It was a fantastic class.
I learned a lot.
And it's probably single-handedly ignited my love for script writing.
Definitely.
Like playwriting and screenwriting. It's the reason why I want to pursue it, because it was a writer's room.
Yeah.
Like I got to experience a writer's room, which
And it was a great
really,
experience.
really cool.
If they ever do that course again,
It was just super
if
interesting.
for some reason you're listening to our podcast and you go to UW, I suggest you do it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever get offered again because there's no.
Well,
Toby Malone was truly one of a kind, and he created that course.
Well, he's not. There's not even a. I don't think that's. You know, that's not funny or interesting.
It's not here nor there.
Cool to talk about.
It's not here. It's neither here nor there. But yeah, like if at your school there is a like you get the opportunity to work with a large group of people on one project.
If you love really annoying people, learn how to dramaturg. If you really love to needle people and like make tiny changes and really nitpick, be a dramaturg.
Yeah, by all means.
I understand how that sounds sarcastic, but no, if you're a dramaturg, like keep going.
Yeah.
Keep pedaling out there. We need you.
Yeah, it's super fun.
You know, because you're right. Because there's even like I was a part of a show which will remain nameless, and it was a really positive experience for the show. But I will say, it was a part of a festival, and the cast was really great, and the director was really nice, and it was genuinely a very fun time. But the show was written by a high school girl who had like submitted it to the festival, and they like read it over and stuff. And well, again, I'll say for the third time, like it was a positive experience and a really great show. The script had some issues. But of course it would, because it's this young lady trying her damnedest and doing a lot of great work, but ultimately, you know, if it's the first time you've ever written something, it's probably not going to be great.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not your magnum opus.
And I have to say, I shit my pants when we had the end of the festival meeting.
Yeah.
And it was like, here's Johnny Jackass. He's the dramaturg of the festival. I was like, we had a dramaturg? Like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
Well, you told me that you were finding like plot holes.
Yeah, there's
like a dramaturg should have caught that.
There's a couple significant plot holes.
Yeah.
But again, there's literally no way anyone's gonna know the show I'm talking about. But if you somehow managed to figure it out, know that it was a great experience, and I would do it again.
Yeah. That's I know, and like having a dramaturg seems like such a luxury on shows.
It is like an extended
because when
cost.
we were in school, there was almost always a dramaturgy team. Like it was part of the show.
Yeah.
Like we had like it was a crew that you could be on. You could be on carpentry, painting. props, wardrobe, publicity, dramaturgy. Like, you could take part in that. It was always there.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things that school kind of spoils you with. And now that you're out in the real world, you're kind of like, oh, God. I wish there was a dramaturg on this. Like,
For real.
yeah, I wish like at least one out of these 5 shows that I've done since I graduated could have a dramaturg on it, because fuck.
I know.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Mm-hmm. Because you really, the work is so important, but it's not, it does extend a process.
Yeah.
And if you don't have time, if you don't have a large turnaround, there's unfortunately no room for a dramaturg.
Yeah.
So you as the team kind of have to be like, well, I hope this script is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I hope it's not too fucked up.
Exactly. You kind of have to do the work yourself and make sure that there are no problems. You have to do all that research, whereas a dramaturg, like, that's their sole job.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Absolutely.
Absolutely Oprah.
Absolutely Oprah. That actually, so phrases like that reminds me of this thing that happened at work a couple days ago. I work at a retail store, and there was this kid walking around with his dad, and every time the dad showed the kid something, he would respond with one thing. He'd be like, hey, yo, like, Johnny, check this out. And he goes, no, that's what I call funny. And I fucking loved that kid. Like, just like watching him walk around the store, every single thing. Now, that's what I call funny. Like, I was like, I wish I had that kind of confidence.
I know.
I might just start saying that. Like, just like whenever I feel like it.
I feel like this is the beginning of an era in your life where, like, you pick up that catchphrase. And I'll be like, remember the time when, like, Cam just, like, responded to everything with, now that's what I call funny.
Yeah, and now he's in the loony bin. It's the only thing he's capable of saying.
Just, like, rocking back and forth.
That's what I call funny.
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 Do you ever wish, do you have phrases or sayings or words that you would like to say more in your vocabulary but never find the space to do so? Like, do you ever, like, hear a phrase in, like, a TV show or, like, a movie and think, like, oh my god, that's a really clever thing to say. Like, I should start working that into my vocabulary.
There are certain, like, digs from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that Will used on Carlton that, like, I wish I was in a situation to be able to use, because they're so flames.
Yeah.
There's this really, really funny episode of The Golden Girls where Sophia starts dating a former bank robber.
Oh, God.
And, like, Dorothy, her daughter, thinks that this man is trying to con Sophia into participating in another bank robbery. But Sophia insists that he's old and he doesn't do that anymore. So she keeps...
That's the plot of a Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode. So
Dorothy forbids her from seeing the bank robber, and Sophia sneaks out. Because, like, the relationship in Golden Girls is, like, Dorothy is, like, the elder child who now has to take care of the mother, and it's almost like the roles are reversed and she has to mother her mother.
Yeah.
So she forbids her mother from seeing this man, and Sophia kind of rebels and she sneaks out, and, like, Dorothy finds out that she's, like, snuck out of her bed in the middle of the night to go see this man, and, like, she calls her in a rage, and I might be confusing these things because the episodes, I've seen so many episodes, they kind of mold together, and, like, Sophia calls her a name, hangs up the phone on her, and Dorothy storms out of the room, and either Rose or Blanche goes, "Where are you going?" And Dorothy goes, "To get ice cream or commit a felony. I'll decide in the car." And she storms out of the room, and the scene ends. Like, the scene ends. They, like, cut to commercial.
That's a great line.
So, I've always wanted to, like, be in a situation where I could say that. Be like, to go get ice cream or commit a felony, I'll decide in the car, and, like, storm out of a room.
There's, like, literally no, that's not a natural
I would never be in that situation.
Circumstance.
I would never be in a situation where I'm that mad and I'm allowed to storm out of a room. That's the other thing too. Maybe I don't have, like, a thing I want to say, but I want to storm out of rooms more. I want to storm out of rooms more. I need more situations where I can storm out of a room. You don't, like, really get to do that.
Those situations don't pop up in real life.
No.
We're also not fucking irrational people.
Or, like, you can do it as a joke, but you have to, like, walk back into the room then. And it's
like,
not always funny. So you walk into a room full of silence and it doesn't work and it bombs.
Exactly. That's why you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
See, the reason why... It's funny, not to turn this serious or anything, but the reason why I never see myself, like, angrily hanging up or, like, walking out of a room is because the logical side of me is, like, you're not fixing any problems. Like, you're just acting like a baby.
Yeah.
Like, get your shit together,
Yeah.
talk it out,
Yeah.
and make it better.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, oh, and then, like, run out of the room.
Yeah.
You know?
There's no point. I know. I wish I could do it, though.
I wish I could be more irresponsible.
I know. I wish I could be more irresponsible and, like, ridiculous and dramatic, but it just doesn't call for it.
A phrase that I've
wholly
always wanted
uncalled
to
for.
like find the opportunity to say, I think I got this from like Game Grumps or something, is like whenever someone's doing something really like gross or drunk at a party, like they're like slobbing over everything,
Yeah.
or like falling over, like someone's doing like a bong rip and like drinking the beer that was in the bong, like I really want to look at them and be like,
Sorry, beer in the bong?
yeah, you ever heard of beer bong? That's a real thing. It's called a beer bong.
Excuse me?
We can talk about that in a minute. In the middle of a story.
I will hold you to that.
Of course.
I've never heard of that. That sounds disgusting.
But whenever someone's
Considering how gross bong water gets? Okay, continue.
whenever someone
Whenever someone gets really drunk.
someone really gross at a party, like I really want to be like, dude, you look so cool right now. Like super sarcastically.
But that's so rude.
Of course.
Like that's so, and like that could like hurt somebody. Like they'll remember that when they sober up the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we want to talk about beer bongs.
Why the fuck do you put beer in a bong?
I don't know.
Does
Okay,
it
hang on.
it can't do anything.
I'm
It
not
doesn't get
gonna-
you drunk and high at the same time.
I'm curious then.
Actually, I just remembered that Post Malone's first album is called Beer Bongs and Bentleys.
Oh my god, that's right.
But I just thought
Yeah, it's
he
one
was
of these.
saying that for
I'll put this picture up. But you ever seen one of these before?
no.
If you listen to it on Spotify, well, that's just too fucking bad. You'll have to go watch on YouTube.
Yeah, we do put these on YouTube and we do put pictures up so that you can like see what's going on. I understand that no one wants to watch a podcast, but like
Yeah.
we do that.
Go to the pause the video right now.
Yeah.
Go to the timestamp on YouTube and watch it.
and go see it.
So the way this
or just Google beer bongs.
the
like,
way or that the way this seems to work is that you light the weed from the pipe in the back and you turn it upside down and then you chug the beer and then rip the smoke.
Can I see your phone? So you
Here.
can see the picture that
I'll
you
put again, the picture I saved seems to demonstrate this.
Oh, wow.
I don't know about the cleanliness of it. It seems kind of gross.
So where does oh, so the weed just kind of sits in the little pipe thingy at the end.
The little
little metal
silver
straw.
metal pipe. I've never done it.
How would you operate? Because you have to like pull with your mouth, but you're drinking
Here,
beer at the
give me-
same time.
Maybe
Because it looks like so maybe this guy is just demonstrating it to show you how both methods work. But it looks like he's drinking beer and inhaling at the same time, which isn't possible.
Well, here. Everybody go onto YouTube and type in the knockout beer bong in all capital letters. Because we're gonna watch this video, this demonstration.
Okay, so
We'll describe what's going on.
So, okay, they're showing off the parts of the bong right now.
It's got like a red top on top of
Yeah.
a beer bottle.
Yeah.
And there's like a contraption on the inside.
So it looks like you maybe insert it. No, you can't. You don't insert it. into
You
the
insert it
bottle.
directly into your anus. Okay, so you turn it
Okay, so
upside
he's-
down and then it starts to chug.
Yeah, so you're chugging.
The airflow goes up, but the beer flow goes down. Okay, that's how you chug, sure. But where does the weed come in? He's just chugging right now.
When do you smoke?
Okay, so he packed the
stuff
weed. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
It's a one
bowl.
hitter.
Okay. But he's filled
And
it up
then
with water since then.
Hang on.
So it's just both.
Maybe you don't do it at the same time?
It's a gravity bong.
Oh, that as well. Oh, that's...
Oh, you can like do something with it to turn it into it. You can add. Okay.
Okay, so we were incorrect. This actually, you don't chug beer and smoke weed at the same time.
It's just a multi-tool.
You know, if I was really into beer and I partied a lot, I'd probably buy one of these
wait,
things.
that guy is drinking and fucking smoking at the same time.
Here we go. Beer bong plus gravity bong. Yeah, he put beer in there, and now he's ripping bongs. So you can do it. It's called the knockout.
That's such a bad
If you
idea.
really want to be fucking gross.
How do you rip it and drink at the same time? Do you just like...
Well, no, you drink the beer first, and then the smoke goes in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
wild. That's wild.
Wow. Party culture just
Right?
has gone too far with this one.
The science has gone too far. It's
Yeah.
like, at what point was someone chugging a beer through a funnel and was like, God, I wish I could be ripping a bong right now. Like, I at the same time. Imagine
I
how fucked up you
am
get.
so sick of doing keg stands and then having to get down and go over and smoke a bong. I just want to do both at the same time.
You ever done a keg stand?
God, no.
Me neither.
I've seen like those mini kegs, like
not
those
cool
mini
enough to
kegs
do a
of
keg
Heineken,
stand.
but I've never been around like a full
Like
keg
a
before.
big ass keg?
No.
I went to
I didn't go to high school parties.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I went to one kegger when I was in high school, and it was a buddy of mine who lives close by, actually.
Yeah.
We went, and he invited, like, his parents. This is kind of a funny story. He went and bought one keg for, like, 200 people.
Yeah.
Which is, like, if you do the math, like, not enough beer
No.
for everybody.
No.
So you went, and you had, like, a really shit foamy beer.
Yeah.
And then, like, this is fun. It was also an ABC party.
Oh,
do you know what that is?
Anything but clothes.
So I wore a toga.
Of course.
Me and Brad went.
That's like the classic ABC costume.
I can just name drop Brad now because he's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's officially a character on the podcast.
Yeah.
Me and Brad went, and we drank and hung out. It was a good time. There's a couple pictures from that night on my Instagram, actually.
Follow Cam on Instagram.
Yeah, but then what's really funny is that all of a sudden he comes out back and he's just like, "All right, everybody leave. My parents are on the way home." Like they just suddenly decided to come home.
The classic, like
And
last
Sam,
minute.
Like, this house was destroyed. Like it was fucked up.
Fuck.
Like this girl got like drunk and like threw up in the bathroom and like slammed her head on like a picture in there.
Oh,
and the frame was all cracked.
Oh, fuck.
Brad actually found her. He like opened up the bathroom and she was on the floor like,
Oh no.
and he just like closed the door.
Bradley.
No. He went to her friends and was like, hey, fucking,
your friend's a mess.
Yeah, fucking
can you get her?
Sarah Huckabee Sanders in the bathroom over there. Fucking
Hey, can you go get your friend, former press secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, out from the bathroom? I think she smashed her head against a picture.
You ever seen a picture of Sarah Huckabee Sanders?
Of course I have.
She looks like an ogre. I mean that in the most...
It's very not feminist of you.
Okay,
You know what? I'm not going to make fun of her looks. I'm not going to drag her looks into this. I think that actually happened to her when she, like, left her job. People were, like, calling her ugly and shit. And we were like, come on, people. Like, don't make fun of her looks. Like, make fun of how bad she was at her job.
Right.
There's plenty of material on that. So just, like, don't call her ugly. Just, like...
I don't know. I'm still not going to apologize to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I don't necessarily think that, she probably was the greatest person.
Yeah, but I'm just drawing it to your attention. Like, she was bad enough at her job. You can just make fun of that. You don't have to make fun of her looks.
You know what? You're okay, fine. I will apologize for the insult to her looks.
I have watched her, like, do her job, though, and I think that she sucked at it.
Well, yeah, it's like, what is the White House doing about this issue? It's like, nothing. Next question.
None of your business.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is the press room, so it is exactly my business.
It's kind of actually...
I'm 100% entitled to ask that question.
being paid to be here.
Yeah.
So this actually...
Yeah.
is
Answer
our
the question.
business.
Does he have a press secretary right now?
I don't fucking know.
Okay.
Like, who cares?
Okay.
Like, honest to God.
I mean, I care a little bit because it's a job that needs to be filled.
It's-
every single cabinet has to have a press secretary.
I know.
You can't just not have a press secretary. You need a representative to the press to get the news out about what the government is doing
Someone
at the time.
just
You
quit.
have to have one of those.
Yeah, someone just quit the White House. Some like big name, or well, he resigned.
That's quitting.
But he asked to he was asked to resign.
So he's fired.
Yes, but he wasn't fired because he was asked to resign, and he gave in his resignation.
That's like being fired.
Yeah, you're getting strong armed.
Yeah.
the fucking
I'm sorry. That's being fucking
President
fired.
Ronald McDonald fucking came into your office and
Yeah.
was like, "You're not selling burgers good enough. Have your resignation on my desk in the morning.
Exactly.
I'll break your legs,
That's being
Hamburglar."
Fired. That's being fired. Break your legs, Jeffrey Epstein.
The new press secretary. The new press secretary Grimace. Everybody eat McDonald's. Does Grimace have a voice? I actually don't even know.
Yeah, I think he kind of sounds like this.
He's kind of like
he's got like a really
kind of
low
like
number.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He kind of looks like Patrick too.
It's like, don't you ever compare me to that pink star
That
fuck.
pink son of a bitch.
Patrick Star wishes he can walk in my fucking shoes.
He just like body slams you. It's like, oh my god.
Press Secretary Grimace gave the people's elbow at today's press briefing, injuring the WAPO reporters. Washington Post will
man.
never go to a press secretary, the press meeting after that, after
Yeah.
Press Secretary Grimace broke one of their
Broke-
reporters'
yeah,
legs.
Broke one of their legs. Yeah. In front of everybody. He did it on camera.
Well, that's what Donald Trump gets for hiring a McDonald's mascot as his press secretary, you know? I mean, like,
What
you
did you
invite a
expect?
football team in to have a McDonald's feast at the White House, and now Grimace is your press secretary.
Why did you go to that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my favorite meme from that, it wasn't necessarily a meme. I guess it was just like a joke tweet. But they were like writing as if they were like White House staff, and Donald Trump was just like, yeah, so just like, just put the sauce in the gravy boats. And the White House secretary, White House staffer was like,
No.
sure, I guess we could put the sweet and sour sauce in Lincoln's gravy
Yeah, I was
boats.
about to say, those are like
You want to
preserved
put goddamn honey garlic
artifacts.
sauce in Lincoln's gravy boats, you motherfuck?
Oh my
Excuse me?
Man, you ever like? I'll be honest with you. I understand that we're almost 4 years into this presidency,
Yeah.
and elections are up on us and everything. But every now and then,
Y'all gotta do something.
every now and then, I'll be in the shower and I'll be like, Donald Trump is the president of the United States.
Yeah.
And every time I say that out loud, I'm like, it still just doesn't sound right.
It literally sounds like a Simpsons episode. I know there was a Simpsons
But it
episode where that
sounds like a
happened,
Simpsons-
but it's like it sounds like a Simpsons episode that they meant to be fictional.
I've never gotten
it
used to it.
shouldn't have happened.
Like to this day, I'm still not used to it.
To think, I watched The Apprentice, like not religiously, but like, you know, like I would just be like surfing the channels. I'd be like, oh yeah, Donald Trump, that's a celebrity. He's just a celebrity. And then I was like, Donald Trump's running for president. I was like, cool, he's not going to get the Democratic notion though. He's just a celebrity. Oh my God, he has the ticket. Oh my God, he's actually winning. Oh my God, he's the president. Like, what? Like, it just like I can't think about it too much for too long and in too much depth because like I would rather just focus on like the issues at hand than getting caught up in the fact that a celebrity is president of the United States.
Sam, listen to this. Donald Trump is the president. There's a KFC dating sim and Banjo-Kazooies and Smash Brothers. We are no longer in the main timeline. We have split from the main timeline.
You know, like I feel like we're at the part where I should just be able to do whatever I want because we don't live. I don't know, just the Matrix has been broken down, you know?
Yeah.
Like the man behind the curtain has been exposed and
Well, yeah.
I just think that I should be allowed to install a water slide in my house at this point because who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
If a celebrity can become president of the United States, I want a water slide, an all seasons water slide attached to my house so that I can go down it every morning
Hang on. I have to look up.
when I get out of bed.
There's a children's show. There's about like beaver cartoon. The kids' names were PB and J.
Oh,
PB.
I know what you're talking about.
It might be called PB and J.
They had a klutzy friend who always messed up when he had a really raspy voice.
Otters, actually. They were otters.
Otters,
It's
yeah.
PB and J
J
Otter.
Otter,
And the
yeah.
reason why I bring that up is because
They had a
they had a
slide in their
slide from the
house.
room to the kitchen.
That was a cartoon though, so like
No way. The show about otters who can talk and
Yeah.
have like a slide in their room.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
regardless, when I was a kid, I was like, I always wanted that.
I'll slide in my house.
You know what? This is kind of a weird thought that no one is ever gonna agree with. When I was a kid, there was this weird thing about like in cartoons, like, oh, I want like a fireman's pole to like slide down.
Yeah.
Those scare me, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it was weird. I definitely went down those poles. Like, you know, on the playgrounds you have them, like poles you slide down.
I never did.
There were a couple in my neighborhood and you could slide down them. And I remember like I would get down and I'd be like, that was fun. And then every single time I would go back up, I would get afraid all over again.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
go down. And then I would go down and I'd be like, that wasn't so bad. And then I would go back up and it'd be like, I'm scared again.
I can't do this.
I'm scared.
Get me out. Get me
I
out.
don't wanna.
Yeah.
Don't make me do this.
Don't make me slide down the
This
pole
is
no more.
terrifying.
Don't make me dance on the pole, mama.
Don't make me dance on the pole, mama.
Mama.
Mama. But yeah, this world is crazy, and I just feel like I should be allowed a slide in my house. In
If
these
Donald
trying
Trump could be
times.
the president of the United States, I want a water slide in my room.
Like, I think about, so when I was in grade 5, one of the like posters that my teacher had up in his room as like a decoration, you know how teachers have like inspirational posters and like informational posters and infographics and stuff like that. So my teacher had a poster of all of the prime ministers of Canada from from Sir John A. Macdonald until like the current one, who at the
Right.
time was I think Paul Martin.
Okay.
And I think about the fact that there's probably an American version of that, and I think about the fact that now you have to include Donald Trump
Yeah.
in the history of American presidents
You know what would
for the
really,
rest of time.
You know what would really make me like
Like there were historical leaders who like we put those up so that we remember our leaders for forever and ever and ever, and we remember what they did and what they accomplished and what they didn't accomplish. And yes, there were controversies and controversial leaders, but like Donald fucking Trump has to be included in that from here on out. He is solidified as a significant person in history for the rest of time.
You know what would be a really funny way to get back at Donald Trump after all this? Is to not include him in any of that shit. Like, don't give him a library.
Yeah.
Don't give him a street name. Don't put him in any of the history books. And just pretend like these 4 years never happened. That would
Yeah.
be hysterical. He would
I don't think
freak
that
out.
would be, I mean, like, yeah.
Could you imagine the Twitter tirade?
So
I was the president!
I will yes and that, because this is a funny podcast and we
Wow.
we do that. That would be great. That would make me feel better.
I would improv that and make
Yeah.
jokes. Because
Yeah.
we do jokes.
Yeah. I mean, like, you should never erase history, but
course
it would
not.
be nice to just never talk about this ever again.
Pretend it didn't happen. Try to realign the timelines, you know?
Just elect Bernie Sanders.
Get a politician
and-
back in the office.
and just elect a politician this time and just never talk about this again.
At this point, I don't even really...
Never talk about this again.
At this point, I'm not even entirely sure. Like, honest to God, like...
Just, you know, like, we elect the new person and the concentration camps just go away. They just melt away, and everybody goes back to their families, and everybody gets therapy, and we just pretend this never happened.
Well, you know what? You know shit is fucked up when, like...
Fucking fuck.
The biggest, like, the biggest nuts of right-wing nuts are looking at Donald Trump like, this guy is way out of line.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I oof.
You know what?
And I oof.
Donald Trump needs a dramaturg. It's exactly what he needs. Get his fucking life together.
Oh man, yeah. Donald Trump would benefit from a dramaturg. That's
Toby
the name of
Malone.
the episode right there. Donald Trump's dramaturg.
The White House dramaturg.
White House dramaturg.
Oh, man. But now that we've named the episode, how about some lessons for today, Sam?
It feels good to laugh.
Lesson 1, laugh more.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Laughter is truly the best medicine. So lessons for today are hug a dramaturg.
Yep. Don't be so sad.
Don't mock your sadness.
Yeah.
Handle your sadness. Don't deprecate it. Just handle it. And
And we live in the darkest timeline.
Yep. Embrace the darkest timeline. Build a water slide in your house.
There you go. Everybody needs a water slide, at least once.
Yep.
We'll be back next week.
Yep. We'll be back next week with episodes, and take care of each other out there, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go home, give your mom a big hug.
Give your mom a kiss.
Give your dad a big kiss.
Give your daddy a big kiss.
Oh, find your sister and give her a big kiss.
Ooh, find your pet hamster and just give it a big old.
Just eat them. Just.